YouTube, welcome to the demo of this unmodified, well, apart from somebody's tried to sand it, not yet decided what I'm going to do with this guitar, Squier Affinity Stratocaster. This has a YN serial number, YN6, so 2006, so 25 years old, proper vintage Stratocaster. Pretty much, as I said, untouched, still got it's got the sort of cheaper type of tuners on it, maple neck, rosewood fingerboard, Stratty layout. The bridge is set up just floating, which is nice. This, looking at it, it's not plywood, because you'd be able to see if it was plywood there. This is a Chinese one, which are not as well regarded as some of the other ones. You know, you see people going, oh, Korean, oh. I don't think the Korean ones are better than this. This is a really nice Strat. I've actually got my main Strat's a Japanese one, and this is kind of not that dissimilar to it. It doesn't have the same. In fact, there we go. I can actually check the radius of the fingerboard. I'd imagine we're talking about, it's going to be a 10 or something, or a 12 perhaps. Where's the thing? There's a 12. Is it a 12? Which is more your Gibson. The vintage Strats would be 7 1/4 inch radius. This one is a 12 inch radius, so it's like a Gibson type curve on it, which is fine, but it's a very stratty Strat. So you get fridge magnet pickups. Don't know what I did take it to bits. I mean, I bought this cheap, and when I said fixed up, I didn't really fix it up. All I did was really clean it, and the volume control, which often happens in these cheap guitars or guitars that haven't been played, the volume control was loose. Basically just a case of holding the pot in the back, tightening up with a spanner. Not difficult. So playing through my wee Laney VC15 through that cabinet, no pedals on just now. Stratocaster sound, bridge pickup. Which is normally pretty rubbish on a Strat, but I mean, sounds fine. Sounds really good when you're using like the fuzz pedals and stuff, having the bridge pickup being really bright. Position 2. Very Stratty sounding, isn't it? Middle position, which nobody uses. Position 4. Neck pickup. Oh. Bit of reverb on it. So I'd imagine a lot of people watching this will just be people who are not subscribed to my channel. Subscribe to my channel. Do lots of videos. Not normally of such normal guitars as this, mostly sort of strange Japanese ones and stuff, which is kind of more my thing. But I have been playing this all the last few days. Actually, if you look at my videos this week, I think this is something like the 5th video I've done in a row of this guitar, and I've not modded it yet. I've got a couple of. I've actually built a Boba Fett guitar. You can see it hanging on the wall there, painted it Boba Fett colours. Bit of a Star Wars fan. Thinking about doing that to this, because I really need to do something, because it's not on. I think what's happened is this, there was a sticker here which was badly removed. I've now taken it off using lighter fluid. That's how you take off stickers. I think someone's tried to scrape it off and they've made a kind of dent here, and they've gone, alright, I'm going to sand the guitar to natural. And then they spent all day doing this, and then realised that's going to take forever, I'm just not going to bother. So it doesn't look that bad. But it needs something else. It needs to be painted. Thinking about doing it. I don't know. I've not decided what I'm doing with it yet. But a totally fine guitar. It's a strat though. And it's a very stratty strat. So if you don't like strats, you ain't going to like one of these. But if you're sitting there, even if you've got like a Gibson SG or something like that as your main guitar, and you might fancy a strat, yeah, you can go much worse than something like this. It seems much better than, it's got made of much better wood, the neck is, than the current ones you buy just now. But that could be something to do with 20 years of wear on it, and who's to say who's had it for 20 years, although this one was pretty manky. I got the impression it had been sitting in an attic for 10 of those years, but it played pretty well when I got it, even though the strings were rusty. So new strings, bit of a clean, that's really all it's had. Wee bit of a setup, stick a wee backing track at the end, a wee bit of a jam on it to end up. I'd not thought of anything to play yet. Middle. Two. Bridge. Governor pedal for a bit of a slight distortion. Two. Rat pedal for more distortion. bridge. Fuzz and bridge. So, Squier are a bit of a mixed bag. One of my pals said one of the worst guitars he's ever played was a Squier. There are eras and someone who's mad into Squiers probably knows which ones to go for. This is definitely one of the best Squier strats I've played. But I mean, these things vary hugely depending on what year it's made. I mean, the earlier from going what I can remember and what I think the earlier Korean ones generally have really nice necks on them, but the hardware is awful. This has a nice neck, not a really nice neck, but a nice neck, and everything's good. It's not really anything. I'm actually considering keeping this as a sort of demo guitar, because it's a sort of, it's like it is a vintage Strat, and it feels like a Strat, and it's really comfortable to play. I've been playing this all week. I really like. You'd be sick if you knew how much I paid for it, but it's a nice guitar. It's tempting to upgrade these, the tuners, and I've got Mexican standard pickups that I could put two in, maybe put a humbucker in it, but it's like, these are things making it not a strat. I mean, okay, it's not a full-on strat because it's got the 12-inch radius fingerboards, but a strat, like a vintage strat would be like 7.25, and a more modern would be like 9.5. You know, just from how curved it is. So this is flatter, but it feels like a strat. It's got a really nice neck on it, really nice piece of wood, and things like that. I don't think that's just a big dark brown bit in it, in the grain, which would make it a cheaper piece of wood, because if you were paying £1,000 for an American strat, that would be unacceptable. Doesn't make any difference to the sound or the feel or anything like that. Just looking at it, it's like, the serial numbers on the neck plate, and it's just like a bog standard sort of small block trem, a few dents in it. But I'm not doing anything with it just now. I'm tempted to paint it up, something. I quite fancy making I said I've done the Boba Fett guitar, but I've also, what happened to him? I had Luke Skywalker sitting about somewhere a minute ago as an X-Wing pilot. I was thinking, it'd be pretty cool, see if it was that colour of orange, with like the white scratch plate, maybe get black pickup covers, and then like a Rebel insignia sticker or something like that. Might be pretty cool. Basically just because I think an orange strat would be more interesting. I'm not so keen on this being, you know, like a black strat. To be honest, the fact that it's got this bit sanded on it kind of makes it a little bit more interesting. And I suppose from a distance it could be... there's no rhyme or reason to it be that, for the scraping to be that shape. So it doesn't actually look that bad, you know. It's relics. And the trem's holding surprisingly well. I didn't actually have to do anything to the nut on this one. It seemed to work. But I do get the impression that maybe at some point, before this was laid up in an attic for 10 years, I think somebody had set it up. They'd over-tightened the truss rod, but it's now back to being perfect. And it's not been damaged. Like sometimes these cheapy tuners, you know, the ones that have got like the metal cover on them rather than being sealed units, are not generally very good. But see, if the guitar's not been dropped, they don't take much impact, so if you drop it on the tuners, these bend and break and stuff like that. But I mean, it doesn't go out of tune, so why if it ain't broke, don't fix it? An element of that, or maybe wait until something does go wrong. I mean, they turn all right. They don't feel expensive. They feel a little bit cheap, but they work. So kind of the same with the pickups as well. I mean, there's so many people buy guitars like this, it's like before they even play it, they go, oh, get some Seymour Duncans in there, and you're like, DeMarzios, you don't need, it's like, there's only so good a guitar like this can be, and this is pretty much, sometimes you buy a guitar that does have bad pickups, you know, it's like, so, you know, they've made a mistake, but this era of Squier, they knew what they were doing, so everything's fine, and it sounds like a Strat. Well, without the distortion pit, without the fuzz pedal on, it sounds like a Strat. Yeah, I mean, it's like, that's why you buy a Strat, innit? Can't remember how you play Apache. What pickup does he use? Dun. Yeah. you can hear that some of the notes there kind of sound a bit shadowsy if you go a bit mental, which is why you would want a strat, or why I would want a strat anyway. So yeah, definitely don't be put off by the fact it says made in China in the back. Country version doesn't really matter. The really bad one I had, I can't remember. The thing is that the one I've had that was really shit was a Telecaster Squier, and it was left-handed, so I couldn't actually play the thing. I just fixed it up, but the wood the fingerboard was made out of was just this horrible sandy colour, and everything on it was really cheap and nasty. I could feel that much, whereas this one doesn't feel cheap at all. If it didn't have the tuners that stick out pure obviously as being cheaper tuners, and it didn't say Squier on it, I don't know what you would think it was. So sorry about all the videos for this guitar this week. I will have it hanging on the wall again, and I'm going to do some other stuff, but I'm really enjoying it. It's like maybe a bit of a perverse pleasure. I'm sitting playing a guitar that's possibly the cheapest guitar I've ever bought that works, that had all the bits on it, apart from the two knobs had fallen off, but I mean they're £1 for a set of them, and new strings. That was it. That's basically all I've done to this, and a wee bit of a setup, a wee bit of adjusting with the intonation and stuff, which you can have to do with any guitar. Doesn't matter whether I've spent, you spent hundreds and hundreds of pounds on a guitar. Still, you put new strings on it. Still, you need to set it up most of the time.